Hey Grace, thanks so much for joining the show today. To get started here, can you tell us a little bit about your background in history and UX and product design?
Yeah, for sure. And thanks for having me on, Alex. Hi, everyone. I'm Grace. Currently, full time, I'm a product designer at Electronic Arts, working on player experience and marketing products. And by night, I am the founder and design lead of Design Buddies, which was a design community I randomly started and took off during the pandemic. So my journey to design was pretty untraditional. I never went to any school for design or any boot camp. I'm
Yeah.
mostly self-taught, but my experiences in my childhood and life really contributed to all aspects of that. And when I graduated college, I graduated my undergrad in 2019. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was like, I want to do VR stuff, 3D stuff, but I couldn't find many jobs for it, especially for entry level jobs. So I also didn't feel quite ready to adult yet. So I signed myself up for more school because I had no idea what to do. Yeah, so I did my master's in computer science and engineering actually, because I thought I wanted to go like software engineering, game dev. I started exploring the internet for different job options, and that's how I found product UX design at the end of 2020 or end of 2019. And I remember asking like a question about how to do a case study because I found a lot of conflicting information when I Google searched it.
Yeah.
I was given the impression that based on the responses I saw in the comments, I was like a noob and people were like treating me differently. So I was like, okay, this is not wholesome. I'm not vibing with this. So I made Design Buddies because I felt like I just wanted to make some design friends in a really wholesome environment. And in 1.5 years, we have 32,000 members in our Discord server.
Where's Design Buddies headed? Obviously, that's a giant community. Where do you think that's going to go in the coming months and years?
Yeah, so for Design Buddies, we just want to continue creating a place where people feel like they can chat about design, ask questions, and level up in their design career. And our stretch goal is to become a household name for design. And how that would work is learning and seeing how people would adapt to life after the pandemic, and also looking at new technologies and just staying up to date. And also regularly seeing what's out there and seeing what people need. So we do a ton of user research, and currently right now we are growing our brand. And so we have a lot of content, events, workshop all around all fields of design. We originally started as mostly UX, but we're really trying to branch out into graphic design, illustration, user research, and all the different branches of design. And yeah, so we're headed to just like a content platform, as well as a community, and ultimately we want to just be an educational place where people can engage with others and access resources through events, content, and community.
That's awesome, and congrats on the success of that and the future growth, because I'm sure it will be growing. Question, Grace, I think something that's interesting and something I see a lot that you've lived and maybe have an interesting perspective on is like turning a side hustle into something real while you have a full-time job. What advice do you have for that? Because that's obviously a lot of work.
Yeah, that is a lot of work. I have to say, like, I'm pretty privileged to be able to like manage them all because I work remotely, and I would just say it's a lot of time management.
Yeah.
Um, and time management comes with like also setting boundaries and knowing how to delegate. So delegation,
Yeah.
time management, knowing when to say no, and setting expectations with people, and that's how I balance it all.
Awesome. And Grace, what advice would you have for new designers entering the field today?
Yeah, I would say like don't be intimidated, because I realized that was one thing I struggled with. So
Yeah.
advice like I would give my younger self, or my beginner designer self, is just reach out to people. Usually people are really friendly and they want to talk, but they're too shy to reach out. So it just takes you to take initiative. And number two is don't feel overwhelmed with so many resources. I feel like, at least for me, my I learned the most by doing the project. So I
Mhm.
used to feel like I had to read this Medium article, I had to read this book, I have to watch this video in order to start designing. But I feel like I learned the most through actually doing the work and asking for feedback. So I would focus on that. And then also focus on learning the business side as well, because that's how you actually how to actually build a product, because without the business side there's no product. And so by having business knowledge, you'll also stand out during interviews and also getting promoted in the job setting as well. So business side, it's balancing user goals and business needs and never forgetting like both are equally important.
So Grace, you also have decided to start, it sounds like you're working remote for EA, but also started your business remotely as we have as well. Why do you see that as kind of the way to run a business now?
I think about all the problems that could be that people have with remote, and I think there's a lot of people working towards like innovating towards solutions like team bonding with the remote setting, creating a sense of presence, and also with like VR, AR. There's a lot of innovations going on there, and so that's why I feel like remote is a future. Just because starting from the principle how time is that really one resource. Once you it's like it's finite for everyone. You can always make more money, you can always get more stuff, but time is something that you'll never get back. And that's what I love about remote.
Yeah, and what about your team? Is that an advantage in like hiring everywhere, or is your team mainly in the same area you are in California?
Oh, everyone's all over the world. We have
Oh
all
wow.
continents.
Okay.
Yeah, because we like it that way because we like one of our mission is to be inclusive. So this also means everyone in the world. So having representation from everyone, different countries, and also making sure that we address like different social cultural issues. We don't accidentally like offend anyone, and they also feel supported as well. But also online 24/7 because trolls can come in at any time and cause problems. So that's also super important. Having just like basic
Yeah.
global perspectives, and also having 24 hours of support.
Right. That global presence for such a big community makes a ton of sense. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, Grace.
Yeah, no problem.